Tensions are rising fast between the United States and Russia after a fiery exchange of words between former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev and US President Donald Trump. And now, Trump has made an alarming move, ordering 2 US nuclear submarines into what he called appropriate regions.
Trump has once again rattled the global stage. Just hours after former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev issued chilling remarks hinting at nuclear retaliation, Trump made a bold move. 2 American nuclear submarines, armed and silent, have been repositioned closer to Russia. The announcement came directly from Trump's Truth Social account, where he stated that the move was a necessary signal in response to what he called unhinged provocation from Moscow. According to insiders familiar with the repositioning, the submarines in question are part of America's Ohio-class fleet, capable of launching ballistic missiles with pinpoint accuracy from anywhere in the ocean. The precise locations remain classified, but analysts believe they've been stationed in waters where they could respond swiftly to any threat from Eastern Europe or the Arctic. This development has sparked widespread speculation across U.S. media, diplomatic circles, and NATO allies. Trump's team insists the move is not an escalation, but a defensive action. Yet the timing, following Medvedev's comments, tells a more deliberate story. In his televised interview aired in Russia just 2 days ago, Medvedev declared that if the West continued to issue ultimatums over Ukraine, Russia will remember the full capabilities of its nuclear doctrine. He went further, referencing the Soviet-era dead hand system, which is designed to launch a retaliatory nuclear strike even if the leadership is incapacitated. Trump responded swiftly, posting that Russia's threats against the West will be answered in equal measure. He reminded the world that during his administration, the United States military was respected, feared, and never caught flat-footed. He added that the movement of the submarines was a signal of readiness, not of war, and warned that America will always act before it's too late. The Kremlin has not officially commented on the deployment, but Russian lawmakers have begun to dismiss it publicly. Viktor Vodolatsky, a senior member of the Russian Duma, told state media that Russia's submarine force already covers every corner of the world, adding that, "We will not be intimidated by rusty Cold War theatrics." Still, behind closed doors, security briefings in Moscow have reportedly intensified, and naval forces in the Barents Sea are on heightened alert. Meanwhile, U.S. allies have expressed concern not over the submarines themselves, but over the messaging. A senior European diplomat told Reuters that any nuclear posturing, whether real or symbolic, risks triggering unintended consequences. Germany, still reeling from Russia's latest missile strikes on Ukrainian power grids, announced it would be sending additional Patriot missile batteries to Kyiv in the coming days. Chancellor Wilk stated that Europe must stand firm, but avoid stoking the fire. Inside the U.S., reactions are mixed. Supporters of Trump applaud the move, seeing it as a return to decisive American deterrence. Conservative commentators praised it as the first real check on Russia's rhetoric in months. Others, however, fear that such a display risks drawing the U.S. closer to open conflict. Senate Democrats released a joint statement urging caution, reminding the public that nuclear readiness must be paired with diplomatic restraint. The Pentagon has remained tight-lipped. When pressed during a media briefing, Defense Department spokesperson Lisa Trowell would not confirm the exact location of the submarines, but said that the U.S. Navy operates with flexibility and vigilance in response to global developments. She refused to say whether this order was a standing protocol or a new directive issued personally by Trump. This move also comes just 6 days before Trump's self-imposed August 8th deadline, when he threatened to impose crippling economic penalties on Russia if a peace framework for Ukraine is not presented. So far, Moscow has made no formal moves toward negotiation. Kyiv, for its part, has welcomed any U.S. military pressure that might compel Russia to the table, but remains cautious. Ukrainian President Dmytro Marchenko said in a statement, We appreciate all support, but peace will not come from submarines. It must come from a real withdrawal of Russian forces. Adding to the geopolitical tension, reports have emerged that the submarines' movements were picked up by sonar arrays near the Norwegian coast, confirming that at least one U.S. sub is currently patrolling the North Atlantic. Norwegian defense officials have not commented, but an anonymous NATO source described the situation as fluid, with multiple regional powers now tracking American and Russian naval activity in real time. China, while not directly involved, issued a veiled warning through its foreign ministry, urging both the U.S. and Russia to avoid destabilizing maneuvers that could endanger global peace. Beijing has called for a new round of talks at the United Nations to address rising nuclear tensions. However, no date has been set. Social media, meanwhile, is flooded with reactions, ranging from panic to pride. Hashtags like submarine standoff and nuclear posturing have trended on TikTok and X for the past 24 hours. Influencers and armchair analysts have begun speculating on everything from nuclear war to submarine technology, often with little regard for fact or context. Disinformation is spreading quickly, prompting the White House cybersecurity team to issue a public advisory warning Americans to verify sources and avoid panic. Despite the swirling chaos, Trump has remained active online. His latest post, just hours ago, read, "America must never be caught off guard again. The subs are ready, our enemies are watching, we won't blink." The post has already received over 5 million views, sparking further speculation about whether this move is a strategic calculation or a political one. What remains certain is that the global security order is shifting once again. With nuclear weapons back in headlines, every move is under scrutiny, and every word carries weight. The next few days may determine whether this was just another round of rhetorical brinkmanship or the beginning of a deeper confrontation.